Go ahead, think about it. That last sip of water you took, it's something we all do all day, every day, and we probably never give it a second thought.
But, it's one of the most fundamental things we do to stay alive. And have you ever actually stopped and wondered, what makes that water safe? I mean, what's the hidden system protecting us from all the stuff we can't see?
Because the stakes, well, they couldn't be higher. This number you're looking at, that's how many diarrheal deaths are estimated to happen every single year around the world, just from contaminated drinking water. This isn't just some abstract science question. We're talking about life and death.
So to really understand how we stay safe, first we have to look the problem right in the eye. We need to get a handle on the true scale of this unseen danger that's lurking in water sources all across the globe.
And it is a staggering global problem. We're talking about 1.7 billion people. That's more than 1 out of every 5 of us on the planet using a water source with fecal contamination. And this isn't just a risk, it leads to millions of preventable cases of nasty diseases like diarrhea, typhoid, and hepatitis every year. The takeaway here is crystal clear. Safe water is one of the absolute cornerstones of public health.
Okay, so what exactly are we up against here? When we say water is unsafe, what does that actually mean? Let's break down the invisible ingredients that can cause all this harm. The key word is contaminant, and really it's just a broad term for anything in the water that shouldn't be there, at least not in high enough amounts to be harmful. Now pay close attention to that last part, insufficient concentration. That little phrase is absolutely crucial.
And this visual right here really drives the point home. On the left, you've got pure water molecules. Looks perfectly clean, right? But on the right, that's what could be hiding in that exact same clear-looking water. Harmful bacteria. You simply cannot judge water safety by its appearance.
We can basically sort all these contaminants into 3 main buckets. First, you have the physical stuff, like silt or tiny particles that make water cloudy. Then you've got chemical substances, things like heavy metals or different ions. And of course, the one we all think about, biological threats like dangerous bacteria and other pathogens.
So we have all these invisible threats. How do we fight back? We don't guess. We don't just hope for the best. We create rules. Clear, scientific, and most importantly, enforceable rules. And that's what we call a water quality standard. Now, this isn't just a friendly suggestion. It's a legally binding objective. It's the official line in the sand that says this water is safe to drink, and it's backed by the full force of law.
Let's look at a real-world example. Take turbidity, which is just a fancy word for cloudiness. Now, why do we care? Because those little particles making it cloudy can actually act like tiny shields for bacteria, hiding them from disinfectants. That's why the limit is extremely low, just 5 NTU.
Here's another one that might surprise you. Fluoride. Yeah, we often add it to water to protect our teeth. But this is a perfect example of how too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. Exceeding the limit can lead to something called fluorosis, which damages teeth and bones. So the limit is set at a very precise 1 milligram per liter.
And then there's stuff that is just plain toxic, like lead. It's incredibly harmful, even in tiny amounts. That's why the desirable limit is a minuscule 0.05 milligrams per liter. There's just no room for error. These standards are, without a doubt, our most important line of defense.
So we have the rules, but how do we actually enforce them? Well, that requires a really rigorous process of testing. So let's follow the journey of a single water sample to see exactly how it's done.
It's not just about testing the water at the very end. The best systems use what's called a multi-barrier approach. Think of it like a series of security checkpoints. We protect the water at every single step, from the original source, through the reservoirs and pipes, during treatment, and all the way to your tap. Quality monitoring is happening constantly.
And this brings us back to that crucial point from earlier. Just finding a contaminant doesn't automatically mean the water is dangerous. As the old saying goes, the dose makes the poison. The goal of all this testing isn't to find perfectly pure H2O. That's pretty much impossible. The goal is to ensure that any contaminants that are present are far, far below the levels that could ever cause harm.
The whole process kicks off right here, out in the field. Scientists take what's called a grab sample. It's a small portion of water that's carefully collected to represent the entire lake or river. This is our very first snapshot of the water's health.
Next, some tests can happen right on the spot. Using special field kits, technicians can get immediate results for things like chlorine levels, which is super important for knowing if the disinfection process is working correctly in real time. But for the highest level of precision, the samples are sent off to the lab. This is where they bring out the big guns.
With advanced equipment, scientists can get a definitive, highly accurate analysis of what's really in the water, down to the tiniest amounts.
So, we've seen the dangers, the rules, and the process. Let's bring it all together. Why does this rigorous multi-step testing matter so much? What's the ultimate payoff for all this effort?
Well, it's about so much more than just a pass-fail grade. Testing gives us a fingerprint of a water source's natural state. It acts as a constant alarm system, alerting us to pollution. It's a report card for our treatment plants, proving they're doing their job. And finally, all this data comes together to influence the big public health policies that protect all of us.
When you boil it all down, it comes to this. The safety of the water we drink isn't a given. It's not an accident. It's the result of a deliberate, scientific, and continuous effort. It's a system built on constant vigilance.
So the next time you take that drink of water, just remember the incredible system of science that makes it safe. And it really leaves us with a critical question for the future. As our world changes, what new invisible threats, what new contaminants will we need to start monitoring for next?